All right, now we're doing MDN Web Docs Guides, HTML, Introduction to HTML, getting started with HTML. All right. So in this article, we cover the absolute basics of HTML. To get us started, the article defines elements, attributes, and all the other important terms that we may have heard. It also explains where these fit into HTML. We will learn about how HTML elements are structured, how a typical HTML page is structured, and other important basic language features. Along the way, there will be an opportunity to play with HTML too. All right, so yeah, it's pretty much just like that other one. I mean, there is some new stuff that we didn't see in the other one. We're going to go over that, but we're going to skip over a lot of it. Just letting you know. Prerequisites. There's basic computer literacy. Obviously, we got that. Basic software installed. That's what we did on that other video. And basic knowledge of working with files. That's what we also did. So if you're up to date, you'll know what's up. If you're not, go watch them or read them. Or read up to this point if you feel like it. But you know, we got the videos up of me reading it to you. Objective: to gain basic familiarity with HTML and practice writing a few HTML elements. Okay, so what's HTML? Hypertext Markup Language tells the web browsers how to structure the web page we visit. It can be as complicated or as simple as the web developer wants it to be. HTML consists of a series of elements which we use to enclose, wrap, or mark up different parts of content to make it appear or act in a certain way. The enclosing tags can make content into a hyperlink to connect to another page, italicize words, and so on. For example, consider the following line of text. We've already seen this. If we wanted to do this, we've already seen this. And then here's this, so we've seen that. Here's something we haven't done though. Active learning, creating our first HTML element. We're going to edit the line below in the editable code area by wrapping it with the tags em and /em or close em, and that's for emphasis. To open the element, we're going to put the opening tag em at the start of the line, and close the element, we're going to put the closing tag em at the end of the line. Doing this should give us the line, should give the line italic text formatting, and we'll see changes update live in the output area. Okay, pardon me. So here's this. Man, I already did it. Reset it. And the thing, I didn't know it didn't reset once we pressed reset, but whatever. Anyway, so imagine that you didn't see that. This is my text. What we're going to do here is say em like this, and then we're going to go em like this, /em like this. And that's going to take care of business right there. Let's see. Oh yeah, see this right here, and then we'll show the solution. Same thing, pretty much. So let's go to the next thing. Nesting elements. We've already seen this. Void elements, already seen this. Attributes, already seen this. Active learning. I don't think we did the target though, so we'll do this. Active learning, adding attributes to an element. Another example of an element is the anchor tag, which stands for anchor. An anchor can make the text it encloses into a hyperlink. Anchors can take a number of attributes, but several are as follows. href, this is the attributes value that specifies the web address for the link. For example, href equals all this in Mozilla. Title, the title attribute specifies extra information about the link, such as a description of the page that is being linked to. For example, title Mozilla homepage appears at the tooltip when a cursor hovers over the element. All right, and then target. The target attribute specifies the browser context used to display the link. For example, target equals blank like this. We'll display the link in a new tab. If we want to display the linked content in the current tab, we just omit this. All right. So we're going to edit the line below in the input area to turn it into a link to our favorite website. Okay, we're going to add the anchor element. So here's the link. We'll add anchor right here, like that, and then after link we'll say close a, like that. And now we're going to do the href inside this. Href equals, and we'll do single quotes like this. And we're going to go to my Instagram. And you see right here, I started doing, I got $15 of AI credit on Dolly because I wanted to get, I wanted to make new, what are those things called? AI-driven thumbnails. They were terrible. They didn't work at all. But then I started making stuff like this. Oh, I keep going to it right here. Anyway, I started making AI stuff, and so I'm showcasing that. I'm going to be showcasing these. Anyway, because I mean, it's $15. I've spent $15 and I didn't think of anything else. So I just made a bunch of anime girls and then a bunch of other girls. You know, that's what I like. If you don't like it, well, everyone's a critic, you know. So here we go. Let's go over here, and I'm going to throw this right there. And that should be it. This should give us a link to my favorite website. Oh, no. Let's do the target also. So after that, after this single quote, we'll say target equals, and then right here, whatever. Right here, we'll say underscore blank. All right, now let's click it. All right, it opens right to it. There we go. Awesome. So there we go. Boolean attributes. Sometimes we will see attributes written without values. This is entirely acceptable. These are called Boolean attributes. Boolean attributes can only have one value, which is generally the same as the attribute name. For example, consider the disabled attribute, which you can assign to form input elements. You use this to disable the form input elements so the user can't make entries. The disabled element typically, disabled elements typically have a grayed out appearance. For example, if we do this and it's disabled, it does something like this. I mean, I've got the little screen darkener on, so you can't really see it. I don't know what it's going to look like on yours, but it looks like this right there. So this one is using the disabled attribute. As shorthand, it's acceptable to write it as follows. Oh, so you can just have disabled like that instead of having disabled like this, where it says disabled equals disabled. You can just do this. And then without it, it's just still able. So you can just, boom, just like that. All right, so for reference, the example above also includes a non-disabled form input. The HTML from the example above produces this result. Okay, so this one's this one, this one's this one, and this one is this one. All right, cool. So omitting quotes around attribute values. If you look at code for a lot of other sites, we might come across a number of strange markup styles, including attribute values without quotes. This is permitted in certain circumstances, but it can also break our markup in other circumstances. For example, if we revisit our link example from earlier, we would write the basic version with only the href attribute like this. Okay, so HTTPS and all that right after the equal sign. However, as soon as we add the title attribute in this way, there are problems. So with title, you see they only have the. Now that there's white space, this is done like a Boolean attribute, and this is too, but neither of these Boolean attributes even mean anything. So yeah, it's going to break. So as written above, the browser misinterprets the markup, mistaking the title attribute for three attributes. The title attribute, right here, the, and then two Boolean attributes, Boolean, like we just said. Mozilla and homepage. Obviously, this is not intended. This will cause errors or unexpected behavior, as we can see in the live example below. We're going to try hovering over the link to view the texts. Yeah, it's the. That's it. Anyway, always include the attribute quotes. It avoids such problems and results in more readable code. Single or double. In this article, we may also notice that the attributes are wrapped in double quotes. However, we can use single quotes like I did in some HTML code. This is a matter of style. We can feel free to choose which one we prefer. Both of these are equivalent. I don't know. I do this, but also I'm not a pro. Maybe this is what the pros do. I don't know. I'm still a rookie, so I'm going to keep doing this. Make sure not to mix single quotes and double quotes. This example below shows a kind of mixing quotes that will go wrong. So yeah, if it's like this and then you end it with a single quote, yeah, that's not going to work. However, if we use one type of quote, we can include the other type of quote inside our attribute values. All right, so here's this href, and then title, isn't this fun? Yeah, because there's this and this right here. So this one's got double quotes because there's an apostrophe right there. Awesome. So to use quote marks inside other quote marks of the same type, single quote or double quote, use HTML entities. For example, this will break. So if it's a single quote here and then a single quote and then another apostrophe here and then an apostrophe here, this is all Boolean right here. This means nothing. So yeah, it's not going to work. So yeah, in that case, put a pair of double quotes right there. So instead you can do this. I would have done this and then this, but whatever. Link to my example, whatever. Okay. So here's the anatomy of an HTML document. We've already done this. Here's active learning, adding some features to an HTML document. If you want to experiment with writing some HTML on the local computer, if we want to experiment writing some HTML on our local computer, we can copy the HTML page example listed above, and I think we will do that. We'll get this and just copy it with the little clipboard. Create a new file in the text editor. Let's open up the text editor. Here's the old one. Let's just get rid of that. Let's make a new one. File, new file. Let's call it test2. All right. And I guess .html, like that. And we're going to put it in. Let's go up one more. Let's make a new file folder and call it test2, like that. Let's open this up. And I think actually we're going to call it index.html. Let's come over here. Paste the code into a new text file and save the file as index.html. So yeah, let's make it index.html. Index. All right, and we're inside this web projects test2 folder. All right, index.html, like that. And then let's say enter. That's good. Let's push Control V right there, and so we've got this in there, and do a Control S to save it. All right, so let's come back over here. And note we can also find the basic HTML template on the MDN Learning area GitHub repo. Okay. So we can now open this file in the web browser to see the rendered code that it looks like. What did I just say? We can now open this file in a web browser to see what the rendered code looks like. Edit the code and refresh the browser to see what the result is. And initially the page will look like this. So we'll come over here and we'll come over here. I'm gonna have to edit that out. Oh, that's easy. Let's come over here. We're at right here and here and here. And there we are. This is my page right there. Awesome. So we've got that. I kind of freaked a second because I didn't want you all to see my art, all my AI art that I got. So I'm going to have to edit that out of the video. Anyway, whatever. In this exercise, we can edit the code locally on our computer, as described previously, or we can edit it we can edit it in the sample window below, or we can edit it in the sample window below, whatever. The editable sample window represents just the contents of the body element in this case. So we're going to sharpen our skills by implementing the following tasks. Okay, so we're going to do something in the HTML, in that thing we just made. So just below the opening tag of the body element, we're going to add a main title for the document. This should be wrapped inside an H1 opening tag and H1 closing tag. All right, so we'll come over here, and right after this, we're going to say H1, all right, and it's going to make a closing tag for us. And we'll say something like AI art is here. I just got into it, so I'm into it. So here we go. We're going to come over here and see what's next. So now we're going to edit the paragraph content to include text about a topic that we find interesting. Hold on. AI art is here. But is it cool? I don't know. Some people say no. I don't care. I actually do enjoy it. So let's do a Control S. But is it cool? Does that make me a nerd? I don't know. We'll see. It's been really bugging me, honestly. So here we go. Edit the paragraph contents to do that. Make important words stand out in bold by wrapping them inside a strong opening tag and strong closing tag. So we'll do a strong on this. We'll say AI art is here. We're going to do AR, but is it cool? And we'll say strong, like this. And then we'll get this cool, but just the cool, and throw it right in between here. But is it cool? Awesome. Yeah, that's something weird about getting old. It's like I'm like worried about stuff that I wasn't worried about. Like, cool, am I still cool? Is it at least? Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. So here we are. Add a link to the paragraph as explained earlier in the article. Add a link to our paragraph as explained. Oh, I know where to. So we're going to put a link right here. All right. And we'll say A. And then we'll throw the here in there. And then we'll do an href. Href equals. And then in there we'll put, what was it? This right here? No. Where'd the Instagram go? There we go. Get this, copy that. Go over here. I mean, it's I gotta plug my stuff on my own videos and you know what I mean? I mean, it's not like I'm getting paid for it. So here's this. So right here, we've got that. I'm sorry this is such a crappy video, but whatever. Sometimes they suck. So we did that with the strong in the paragraph with the link, and now we're going to add the image to the document. Oh yeah, this is where it is. So we're going to come down here under the paragraph. We're going to say IMG, then we're going to say space slash, and then the closing tag like that. And then we're going to say in here src equals, and then in there we're going to say, ooh, first we got to come over to here, and we've got to make an images folder images. All right, and inside that images folder, what we're going to do is get this and put it right in there. Where is it at? Right here. All right, and then we're going to link to that. Images right there, and the text editor is doing this for us. All right, so there we go. And then Control S, and then let's come over here. And let's check this out. And there we go. And if we made a mistake, we can always reset it. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this in this images thing right here. No, excuse me, in the HTML thing. And there it is. Awesome. Yeah. That's what I made. I've got a lot better ones. This was like one of my very first ones. I said like anime girl in a key pow, you know, something. And muscular or something, you know, whatever. And so that's it. That's what came out. I've got so many more after that. And they like get better. They get like so weird. And then like they get a lot cooler. They get like really, really creepy. Because I'm like doing like, you'll see it. You'll see. They're like, anyway, it's like that ancient paintings from like the pre-1900s. You know, where they like smushed up faces and stuff. Anyway, I'll show you, but not today. So yeah, there's that. And then we've got this white space in HTML. In the example above, we may have noticed that a lot of white space is included in the code. This is optional. These two code snippets are equivalent. Yeah, this right here and this right here. Same thing, because it's just going to concatenate it, or whatever the word is. They're going to get it, they're going to shrink it all down. No matter how much white space we use inside HTML element content, okay, which can include one or more space character, but also line breaks, the HTML parser reduces each sequence of the white space to a single space when rendering code. So why use so much white space? The answer is readability. It can be easier to understand what is going on in the code if we have it nicely formatted. In our HTML, we've got each nested element indented by 2 spaces more than the one it's sitting inside. It's up to us to choose the style of formatting, however many spaces for each level of indentation, for example, but we should consider formatting it. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that because the text editor does it for us, so we don't really have to worry too much about it these days. But if it was the old days and we were doing it inside something like this, yeah, we'd have to definitely do this stuff ourselves. All right, let's get back to it. So entity references, including special characters in HTML. So in HTML, the characters angle brackets, left and right, greater than, equal than, greater than, less than, greater than, less than, greater than, yeah. Okay, and then double quotes and apostrophe and the ampersand are special characters. They're part of the HTML syntax itself. So how do we include one of these special characters in our text? For example, if we want to use an ampersand or less than sign and not have it interpreted as code. So we do this with character references. These are special codes that represent characters to be used in these exact circumstances. Each character reference starts with an ampersand like this and ends with a semicolon like this, all right? So I think you've probably seen these before in like stuff up here, especially doing, what are those things called? Google searches. You'll see this is the less than. We're rarely going to have these in Google searches, but there's less than right here, greater than right here. Also the quotation mark right here, the apostrophe right here, and then the ampersand right here. The character references equivalent could be easily remembered because the text it uses can be seen in less than for, and then what we just said. So to find out more about it, we've got this right here. So in the example below, there's 2 paragraphs. This one right here, where the P is just a P element. And then this one right here, where it says, and this is the less than sign, this is for this. Here's the P, that's this one. And then the greater than sign right here for this right there. And then the element. In the live output, we can see that the first paragraph has gone wrong right here, but let me show you. Okay, so this is the one gone wrong right here, and then the browser interprets the second instance of P as starting a new paragraph. So right here, it's just like that. Oh yeah, this one right here. And then the second paragraph looks fine because it has angle brackets with character references, like that. All right, cool. So note we don't need to use entity references for any other symbols, as modern browsers will handle the actual symbols just fine as long as our HTML character encoding is set to UTF-8, which I don't think we're going to do anything other than that. So HTML comments, we've already done these clunky comments, and then we've got the summary right here. So we made it to the end of the article. They hope we enjoyed the tour of the basics of HTML. Well, they told us some new stuff, so it's cool. At this point, we should understand what HTML looks like and how it works at a basic level. We should also be able to write a few elements and attributes. The subsequent articles of this module go further on some of the topics introduced here, as well as presenting other concepts of the language. Note, as we start to learn more about HTML, consider learning the basics of cascading style sheets, or CSS. CSS is the language used to style web pages, for example, changing fonts or colors, and altering the page layout. HTML and CSS work well together, as we will soon discover. Awesome. So let's go to the next one. So what's in the head, metadata, and HTML, and we'll see you next time.